Hi guys. Today I want to talk about satellite communicators. There are many out there. What a satellite communicator basically is a device that you carry with you that is not contingent on a cell tower or any kind of radio frequency. Um, the beauty of this is when you're out in the wild, I'll call it the wild forests, the jungles, wherever you are that doesn't have cell coverage or any kind of communication, these can be a lifesaver. And I'll just briefly touch on, there's lots of information on the web on what these are, but I will briefly touch on what they do. And again, they're all different. Now, just for sake of clarity and just for sake of being precise, I only really know about the top three, which are the Zoleo, that comes in at 5.4 ounces, the Garmin Inreach Mini, which weighs 3.4 ounces, I believe, and the Spot, which I'm not sure what the Spot, I have not used the Spot, so I just have a little stat sheet on it. Anyway, when I started looking into these, initially I went for weight. I went for nothing but weight. But sometimes there's a little more to the picture than just weight, like the weight of the product itself hanging off or in your pack. The primary function of these devices are emergencies, SOS. It doesn't matter where you are, as long as you have a clear view of the sky, you can hit the SOS button and you will immediately go to and get in touch with people, either via text or whatever. They won't be able to call you, but what they will do is they'll have an accurate location. Your device will send out your exact location, and if they need to come and rescue you, they will do so by whatever means they decide. I myself personally have never had to use these, even though I've always carried one. But anywho, okay, so let me just go over at least those three, some comparisons. There's Spot X, Inreach. I don't have Spot X. I have the Inreach Mini and I have the Zoleo on hand, and I have had experience with both. Subscription costs, for me at least, this is why I am no longer using the Inreach Mini. It's not because it's not a great device, but the Inreach Mini annual plan is $49, and then after that you buy your plan, whichever one you want, $20, $40, or $75 a month. A three-tiered system. I had the middle membership, and I was paying $49. However, my bills were coming in at way higher than that. This is one thing I'm going to say about the Inreach Mini. You basically just turn it on, and then you use, at least with these two, you use an app on your phone. The app on your phone connects via Bluetooth to the device. So unlike the Spot, which has its own keyboard, you can do messaging on these devices via the app on your phone, as well as obviously the SOS functions where they'll come and get you. They make it very difficult for you to get to the SOS button. Like here, you've got to lift this tab up before you can push it. And when you do push it, you have to push and hold. And that's a good thing, because that way you don't accidentally, if it's in your pack and it's leaning on something, you don't want it to, all of a sudden everybody shows up with helicopters and everything, and you're like, what the, And even here on the Inreach Mini, you have to flip open this little cover here before you can actually push the button. Something else I noticed about these devices is it doesn't even need to be powered on. If you press and hold the SOS, the actual unit will just turn on and immediately go into SOS mode and contact whoever it can contact. At least I know that's true of the Inreach Mini. I don't want to test the Zoleo out right now. It's probably not a wise idea, even though I'm indoors. Anyways, so yeah, $49 for an activation, a once-off activation fee. SpotX has a $21.95 activation fee, plus your plan tier costs. And then the Zoleo has a $40 activation fee. So the SpotX clearly is the cheapest in activating. You have, in the SpotX, you have flex plans. They go at $17, $35, and $46. And each of them give you varying degrees of how many messages you can have. For example, you could only have, and the tier that I was using with my Inreach, I could only have 40 messages a month. What I didn't know were a couple things. Unlike the Zoleo, the Inreach Mini does group messaging. I can set up group messages. What I didn't know was if I have 5 people in that group message, it doesn't count as one message. It counts as 5. I didn't know this at the beginning. So I was sending my 5 people my check-ins and so on. Now, mind you, there are free presets. There are, I think, 3 or 4 preset messages that you can send, and you can send them unlimited for free. But I didn't do that because I wanted them to know exactly where I was. And when I did do my own custom texts, I could include my location, and they would just click, at least in the case of the Mini, they could click on the link and go to a website that would give live tracking in intervals that I would set up. So if I said, okay, once an hour, well then once an hour, they could come and check where I've moved to. And if I didn't move for a few days, or if I moved like 1,000 miles all of a sudden, then at least they would know I was in trouble. There was something happened, and they could contact authorities or whatever. You know, or you break a leg on trail, or you know, if maybe you get attacked by a bear or something, you know, and you're out there and you've got no way of getting help. These are a lifesaver. Okay, the reason I switched to the Zoleo was, number one, no hidden costs. Zoleo's 250 messages. There are no group message options. It's very easy to keep track of it. It still has SOS. It still has weather. Most of these devices will give you weather. However, with the Inreach Mini, you will pay. And the way they did it was it cost you 1 text message. So say you had a plan with 40 messages. Each time you pulled up the weather, it would cost you 1 message, which was kind of neat. You know, it's clever. It was clever marketing, but I didn't know. But if you try to get premium weather, and both of these, by the way, offer dark sky weather services. If you tried to get premium weather on this, you were paying $1.25. And there were quite a few situations where I needed to get premium weather, and that would give me more than just today and tomorrow. I think it's 2 days is all you get for the standard, and I think it's 5 days for premium, something like that. But I'm going to take the Zoleo with me out on the AT. I've decided I'd go with this. It's much cheaper to operate. I don't need all the extra functionality that the Inreach Mini gives you. I only need to contact 1, maybe 2 people. If I do need to speak with somebody else, that's fine. I don't mind doing that. And even at the highest tier subscription plans, 75 is the top tier for Inreach. What are we looking at here? 46, depending on the plan. Oh, okay, up to 95 for the SpotX. And the Zoleo's top tier is $80, and that gives you unlimited everything. But at least then you know you're paying $80 plus tax. I got some monster bills from Garmin on this, and I mean I just can't do that anymore. I'm sorry. As great as this device is, and it is great. Listen, don't get me wrong. And it worked flawlessly. I justify paying that kind of money. This device, the Zoleo, actually works as far as getting a signal from the sky. It works better than this. I can have this inside of my backpack, and I would get communication. If the Mini isn't actually right out in the open and able to see the sky, it won't work. Even on a cloudy day, it can take hours and hours to actually get a signal from the Mini. If it's cloudy, if it's overcast. I was in a couple of storms and I couldn't get weather, I couldn't get texts out. It was quite a situation. But however, that was inclement weather, I will grant you that. Inclement weather doesn't bother this device. It just seems to find the satellites no matter what. And I have actually tested it in those conditions. So am I slagging the Mini? No, I'm not. It's a great device. It really is. In Canada here, I paid $460 to buy this device, where I only paid $250 for this one. I expect to pay no more at the very highest, $85 a month for this one. This one here, it can go crazy. You can pay up to $950 annually, up to $202 monthly. I just can't. I'm not in that snack bracket, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to switch. The Spot X, the keyboard's really clunky. It's like the old Blackberries, you know. It's so hard. I don't have dainty little fingers. I can't. I'm sitting there. I'll push one button and I'll get three. You know, my texts are a mess. I mean, I've had the opportunity to play around with the Spot X, and I just find the interface kludgy at best. I am definitely going to go with the Zoleo. That's the choice I've made for the AT, and for any hike. I mean, I'm taking these out. I'm taking this one out next week for the first time. One really big concern I have about this one is it's IPv68 water resistant. That's a bit problematic. This here is practically bulletproof and waterproof. The Mini has really only one spot that's open, and that's where you charge it, and it closes in such a way it is pretty much waterproof. I think if you submerged it in 20 feet of water, you know, eventually within a day or so, it might get water in here, but even still, it may not get inside. I don't know if they've got little gaskets inside like the phones do for stopping. I'm gonna have to check their website on that. But this one here, the Zoleo, you can clearly see there's gaps in the fittings. You know, just the way it's built isn't quite as rugged and sturdy as the Mini. However, that being said, you know, you take care of it. Because this doesn't matter if it's outside. You know, I'm going to try and hang it off my strap, but if I can't, I'll put it inside the pack, and it should work just fine. Or even in one of my pouches. You know, I have my little hip pouch, or I can just put it in my pack. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I'll figure that out when I get there. Great products. Definitely something you should consider, even if you are just a novice backpacker and you just go out for weekends. You can shut these off. You can put them to sleep, the account. I know with the Zoleo, I think it's $4 a month to put the plan to sleep. It doesn't say here what it is for the Mini, but they're generally nominal fees. I mean, they're only a fraction of what a full subscription would cost, which is good. I mean, and it should be that way, because if you're not a winter hiker, or you know you're not going to be out, even if you're out on boating or a plane or whatever, you can use these. You can use these anywhere. These aren't simply for hiking, but you only pay for it when you use it. You know, you can activate it anytime and turn it off seasonally anytime you want, with no fee, no penalties, no reactivation fees. So that's nice. I really do like that. You know, I do appreciate that for sure. But I mean, you get that with all of them anyways, so that's not a problem. Am I dissing the Mini? No. No. Great device. I'm going to miss it, actually. I'm actually giving it away to somebody, and I thought I'd get a review in real quick while I still had it in my hands, because I have pretty much committed myself to the Zoleo now. It's bigger, it's a little heavier. Yeah, it's an issue, but you know what? Everything weighs something. Bottom line is, I'm getting tired of obsessing over grams here. So, anyways, that's it. That's my review. Definitely, if you don't have one, consider it, and we'll talk to you soon.